The subjects were fat, but the coffers were full. This was no place for a young man to make his mark, nor his fortune. Time marched on as time is apt to do, and this warrior grew old. Once quick hands of youth were now slow from battle wounds and crushing blows. The sword grew heavy and it cleared the scabbard slowly. This old warrior, aching wounds and bones that hurt, lay under the stars, my head on a rock, and dreamed of my home. I dreamed of clearing the hill and smelling the green grass of the open fields, and to see again the gilded castle. I would ride in to cheers, the colorful flags flapping in the breeze, and walk into the castle. There I would cast before the king a part of my prize, and the king would see what I had become. My sword at last would rest by the fireside. My horse would run free, unencumbered by battle dress. I would find peace. At last, I would find acceptance. One day I mounted my old horse, cinched up the worn saddle, and let him ride as he had wanted to for so long, to the north. The trip was hard, but he was determined. He too remembered the green fields, the open sky, the beauty of our Valhalla. At last we mounted that hill and looked down upon Salem. The fields were barren, salted and dry. The gilding had been stripped from the castle and the walls were broken and falling. The guards were gone. There was nothing to guard. The merchants were gone from the square, the commerce broken. I entered the great hall through an open door, and a shaft of light fell to the floor from a hole in the roof far above. Only the jesters remained of the court, turning cartwheels and somersaults before the great throne. There in the throne sat the king. His eyes were clouded like those of a dead man. He read from the scroll the laws one after another in his faltering voice, but there was no one to hear. But the pigeons who flew up to the rafters as the jesters ran and jumped, their little bells jingling from worn-out clothes. I cast my prize before him, and he looked down at it, and with a hand waved me aside. A thief sneaked from behind, dagger in hand to take the crown, but he gave it to him. He took out a broken sword and knighted him as he motioned me to leave. The merchants who remained now hoarded pennies, left by the plunderers as too heavy for their worth. They coveted them and held them, stealing from each other and trading them for things dear. They would hide in the night and count, their gleeful laughs ringing out of the broken doorways and echoing down the great hall, out into the streets of a city once paved in gold. Thank you very much.
You have 15 seconds to make a statement that is both poignant and sensational. A statement that will draw the press out to seek you out. But you wish for this person to exemplify something more. even if he's not. And it's okay if he's
Yeah,
not.
I hope maybe in history we'll hear that you will not be ignored by Trump in years to come, because I think that was very inspiring.
It was also very necessary.
Yeah.
There are things in our nation now, and I don't want to be dark, especially with one who is doing the things that he must to make things better. I'm very impressed with Mike Pence.
I really am.
I didn't know the guy, I didn't know anything about him. I never saw that one coming. I saw it as a setup by the party to forestall a convention overthrow. That you take this guy and we won't beat you up at the convention. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Well, and Paul Manafort was the one that wanted to, because before it was going to be Chris Christie, because that's what Trump wanted. Paul Manafort really pushed to get Mike Pence on the banquet for that, because I think he's just as inspiring. He speaks very well.
Christie has some liabilities.
Christie does have some liabilities.
And that would not have worked well, because now you have a brute and a brute.
Yeah, you can't have those two
And
types, not two alpha types.
What Mr. Trump needed in a running mate was a mechanic. He needed someone who was comfortable in the Beltway, who could whip, who could find consensus, who was respected. And Trump could be loud and self-promoting and be himself, and have a mechanic to go around and clean up the crime, up the floor, the blood. And that was why my recommendation was Casey. Casey has the mechanical ability, understands how things work in the Beltway, understands the budgets. You know, he's a good pick, and evidently Trump thought so too. I asked him twice. But Christie would have been a bad choice.
Yeah.
Because then people would have resisted.
You get his controversies as well, and like we were saying earlier, the two kind of A types. So you just get that another, I guess, liability of him maybe going out and saying something that we don't need him saying.
Yeah, it would not have been pretty. And within the Beltway, there's great resistance to outsiders telling people what to do. Their first reaction is to resist. And so the Chris Christie Trump ticket would have been abysmal. It would have been a go nowhere ticket. I think that I believed Kasich, and now I believe Pence strongly. I think it's a great ticket, and I think they're going to be magnificent. I really look forward to a great 4 years of repairing things, both the superficial truth that we're dealing with and the secondary, more dark, more deep truth. Concept of what that means, and everyone in the audience was supporting it. That seems so superficial, but it is so brilliantly eloquent because it speaks to every ear. Everyone's sitting there in this massive crowd when he says, "We are going to win. We're going to make America good." To you, it means one thing, and to Lisa, it means something completely different. And it all is a positive evolution, and no one hears that and says, "No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want America great." That is a beautiful statement.
Yeah.
It's simplistic as hell,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But it's a beautiful statement because he doesn't have to put himself in that corner, and you have to be careful of that. So if you and he is Donald Trump, and you can't be untrue to yourself. You know, I could write a speech for Donald Trump. It would sound ridiculous when I gave it, but another person could give it and it would be perfect. So I think that the speechwriters that drafted the grand speech that we did, I think they actually erred on the side of goodness, but I think they wrote it to sound like Donald Trump. And it was a magnificent speech. I was shocked at how good it actually was. And it did the things that he wanted it to do. It communicated a number of messages, and believe me, the people up on the stage with him, the 4-star generals, the cabinet members, the presidents, they heard loud and clear what he said.
And we're seeing all three of them thank God.
Absolutely. And all these methodologies in order to allow for instance, the executive branch to do things that are far outside of the bounds of what they should be. They're all detrimental to a representative republic. Each of those things. I'm on the other side of the thing. I'm old, and I'm soon to be 63 years old. Always considered myself a politician. Always believed that I would be a politician, but I was always too busy with building hospitals and roads and airports and worked at Decatur Chemical Plant in Wilmington, North Carolina. I built that. American Hoist and Derrick Plant in Wilmington. I built that. Built Leeward Harbor, Morehead City.
Oh, really?
Boat Shore Club condominiums, Atlantic. A couple of hotels in.
Come to North Carolina.
I'll tell you what, that's not a bad idea. I have a house in North Carolina.
All right.
I built some townhomes right on the ocean in Topsail Island.
Oh, I love Thompson.
I do too. I lived there for many years, and I had a lot of fun in Topsail. I love the place. I lived on Riceville Beach, which is much more formal. I mean, people laying out with makeup on in Wrightsville Beach, you know, and then Topsail, which is just a...
They're both beautiful, and I love the Outer Banks as well.
I do too.
In Topsail, I've actually already picked out my Kennedy compound. So, just need the money now.
Yeah, just got to work out the details. No, that's a great thing to strive for, and you know, people that say they can do things. One of my great quotes. If a man says to you that he can do something, he may or may not be able to do it. Because he might be wrong, he might fail. But a man who tells you that he can't is always